I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Village of Carpentersville Village Board, July 5th, 2017 at 7 p.m. Can you call order, please?
Trustee Burroway.
Here.
Trustee Rehberg.
Here.
Trustee Schultz.
Here.
And Trustee Lawrence.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adam couldn't make it tonight, so we're going to move on to appointments and confirmations and administration. So we have plenty of appointments, reappointments tonight. We have 12 total right now from several different committees, and I'd like to take a motion to do all 12 if the board's okay with that.
I'll motion.
Motion,
I'll
Rehberg.
second, John.
Second, Pat Schultz. Thank you. Roll call, please. We'll do a roll call.
Okay.
All of them.
Trustee Lawrence.
Yes.
Trustee Rehberg.
Yes.
Trustee Schultz.
Yes.
And Trustee Burroway.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move right on to public comment. Kelly?
We do have one. We have Vick from Boss Automotive.
Okay, Vic, come on up, Vic. Vic, in public comment, we do limit to 5 minutes, okay, and then we can extend it if we need to, but...
a little bit sooner than I thought I was going to call it here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're moving along quick here tonight, but 5 minutes, and then, we normally don't answer questions. We normally get back to you, but
Sure.
the board, if they feel, we can ask questions.
The reason I'm here tonight is because we opened our business in Carpentersville about a year ago. You guys were very, very good about welcoming us. You've been very helpful to us and everything. But the reason I'm here tonight is because I don't feel that we are contributing enough money to the coffers of Carpentersville, and I would like your help with that, okay? Our sales have not been what we thought they were going to be. We would like to do more sales because one of the reasons we're in business is, well, we're here to make money, but we also want to contribute our share to the community, okay, and bring in more money. I've talked with Mr. Rooney and Mr. Burke quite a bit about things. They've been very helpful, especially Mr. Burke, very helpful. But they're limited as to what they can do with the ordinances we have, okay? It's very difficult for us to put up signs or advertise what we're doing, what we're selling. We're right on Randall Road. 43,000 cars go past our place in one day, okay? We would like to capture as many people and tax dollars as we can off of the road to come in and do business with us. But we're restricted because you can't put up a sign on your building, you can't put up posters, you can't advertise your sales. So basically what I'm here to do tonight is to ask if you guys could either review some of these ordinances to help Mr. Rooney and Mr. Burke help us, or if I could be put on an advisory committee. If you guys have an advisory committee, I'd love to help out. But once again, like I said, I don't feel that we're contributing our share. And I think we should be contributing more to the coffers of Carpentersville. And I think that the voters probably would be very happy to hear stuff like that. So that's my appeal to you guys tonight.
And your business, I'm sorry, I can't see it on your shirt.
This?
Yeah.
Boss Automotive.
Okay. And you're on Randall?
Huh?
You're on Randall?
Yes. Okay. As a matter of fact, I did have a customer that lives in Carpentersville today come in and say he had trouble finding how to get into our location. Because you got to go on Miller Road around, okay? So, this is one of the residents saying that he'd like to use us, but he had trouble finding us. So, I don't have any other questions or anything else to say other than please help me help you guys. I really want to do that.
Can you leave your email with Kelly for me? Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vic. Okay, next item. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless a trustee so requests. In the event, the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence of agenda. Could I have a motion?
I'll motion to pass the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion, trustee Humpher, second, trustee Rehberg. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rehberg,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Trustee Burroway,
Yes.
Trustee Humpfer,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, does this take care of all this then? All 9 core too? Okay.
You guys do all the appointments.
Motion approved. Thank you. Reports of managers, officers, commissions, and staff, and is our next item.
We have no manager's report this evening.
Okay, thank you. No manager report. Trustee Burroway, your commission report?
Excuse me. There's a C4 meeting coming up on July, help me out,
13th.
14th?
13th.
13th. Thank you, Chief. And 7 o'clock, Public Works. I encourage all of you to attend. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Rehberg?
We had an Audit and Finance Commission meeting on June 27th at 6:30. A couple of the larger discussions were the audit presentation from Sikich. Their lead auditor came in and just discussed their findings with everyone in the room, and some good news there. Lots of good news. Everything went really well. All of the key dates were hit in the audit. There were no material weaknesses, which is the highest audit finding that they can issue. Is an unmodified opinion. That's, again, the highest level of assurance that they can give. They also indicated that we're properly funding our pensions in relation to the other communities. They don't really issue a strong opinion one way or the other on that, but they can qualify an opinion there contingent on what the other communities are doing. And they're saying we're funding our pensions much better than many of the other municipalities in the area. So we're in good shape there. They did find one deficiency with administrative permissions, and I believe that's already been addressed. Some purchasing card deficiencies from last year were cleared up, so that's all good. Under 10 notes like that is considered good, and we had 3. So a very good job for our finance department keeping the books straight, and our auditors issued a pretty good opinion for us. We also discussed water and sewer rates, and we discussed a presentation where we listened to a presentation, then we discussed the conversation then sort of moved towards priorities and what staff feels are the most important priorities, what years they should happen, and how much they will likely cost. And then if they were to cost that much and if they were to occur in that particular year, what would that do to the enterprise fund that funds water and sewer, with various rates discussed in the process there as well. So it was advisory, it was discussion. There was no recommendation made or anything like that. There's still much more discussion to go. This is what I would consider to be the tip of the iceberg on that discussion. So there's more to come. Water and sewer projects are not cheap, so these are all big ticket items that we need to prioritize for the residents, hopefully based off of their feedback as well. And then we also had a few recommendations. One, we have 195 ash trees remaining. So the commission motioned for an additional $20,000 for additional tree replacement for those 195 ash trees. So to replace where the ash trees have not been already replaced. So that's good. That's good news. We're kind of getting ahead a little bit, and that's quite a bit good news for the residents that lost an ash tree that haven't had one in the front of their house replaced yet. Beautification, it can help with EAV. It can kind of have a snowball effect there to a lesser degree. We also had some favorable bidding on road work. Staff thought that might be because the I-90 road work is done, so that frees up a lot more man hours in the area, so there's a little bit more competitive bidding for road work. So I think the number was about 15% below what we thought it was going to be, something in that neighborhood. So we recommended additional road work on Lowell Drive, so that's good news. And then we also recommended a new NICOR agreement with the village. So it was quite a bit of discussion on a couple key topics and then a few assorted other odds and ends, but good meeting.
Yep.
And the next
Uh,
July 25th.
yeah, July 25th.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
write it down.
Couple weeks.
July 25th, and that's at the Public Works Building, 6:30.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Rehberg. Trustee Schultz.
Just wanted to mention the community yard sale that we had. Had a lot of positive feedback from the residents, and a lot of people asking us to do more than one a year. I wanted to thank publicly, of course, Bob and his department for all their help, as always, with every event. You're such an integral part. And then also, I appreciate Mike, having an officer by, and of course, Todd Mittendorf he stopped in too. So it was very nice that you were there. Very uneventful as far as needing any assistance. So that was good. And then the next up is Civil War, and that'll be the first weekend in August. That'll be on the 5th and 6th. They are trying to plan to do something on Friday night. They're still working on it, and to get the sort of a kickstart and get it going. And it'll be from 10 to 4 both days, and we'll give more reports as things start to get firmed up with them. So. And that concludes my part. Our next special event, is July 19th, I believe, on a Wednesday at 6:30. So.
6:30, Public Works, correct?
Right, Public Works.
Okay, thank you, Trustee. Trustee Humpher.
Thank you. We had a Business Development Commission meeting last week. It fell on the same day as the Audit and Finance Commission, so sorry I wasn't able to attend. It was a long meeting. So, but do we have? Is the report finalized for the audit?
I believe so, yeah.
Is it final? Do you recall, Kevin? Were there any concerns on the A133 audit with the federal funds that we received? It'd be at the very back of the.
Yeah, no, I don't think there were.
Okay, I'm just curious, since this is our third year, I think, having to get that particular audit done. That's additional internal control work that the auditors do to review how we handle funds, especially federal funds. So I think it's an important document that we receive, and kind of goes a little bit deeper on the internal control side. And we've done well in the past. I don't anticipate anything change there, but just wanted to be sure. So we had a Business Development Commission meeting. I think Patrick Burke is going to come up and talk about retail strategies. Is that going to be today? Oh, we're going to wait until the 18th. Would it be okay if we wait until then to talk about that? Really, what they brought was a brochure that they used in Las Vegas. We went through it in detail. I think you guys are going to have some questions once you are able to see it and digest the information. It's a lot of information, a lot of demographic information on the village, and drawing basically circles around where we have retail and other sales, and looking at the population around there that supports that. So I'll hold off until Patrick's ready, but I did want to mention one other thing that we talked about and we began the discussion on is relooking at our TIF strategy. And one of the things that we did was we pulled the information that we have posted to our website, the village's website. And I think we need to start looking at those other areas and at least consider expanding on our strategy more so than what we've done in the past. And I think you guys, those that have been on the board for a while, if I would characterize our strategy for business development and use of TIF funds, it's been really only used for infrastructure type related expenses, your streets, street lights, maybe underground sewer, water lines, things like that. I think we need to start looking and expand that a little bit to make sure we can keep the businesses that we have here, which I think is very important, as well as attract maybe some new businesses in the town. So I think we're on the right path, but I just want to make you aware that we're going to be having those discussions, and I know some of us will get quizzed by people who want to develop in the village as to what can we provide, what kind of help can we give. So I think it'll be an integral relationship between us as a board and our staff to be able to make sure that we can attract those businesses and keep the businesses that we have here. So I'll hold off on the retail strategies discussion until the next meeting, and this way you guys could talk. We'll talk about it in more detail. But I think you'll like the information, and you'll like the brochure. I thought it was pretty rich with information about our village. So that's always good. I like reading that stuff. So our next Business Development Commission meeting will be at the end of this month, the fourth Tuesday, and we'll have it at 5 o'clock on the second floor. Thank you.
July 20th, the same as the audit.
Yes, again, great.
Thank you, Trustee Humpher. And we'll be getting copies, or there'll be copies available at the.
We have an electronic version now, but I think, will we use that same one, Patrick, or will we get new copies?
We'll pass around copies of the brochure, and then retail strategies will be here on July 18th to give the presentation that I shared with the BDC.
So they'll be here for the next meeting, and they'll pass out the brochure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, moving on. Old business. We have no old business tonight, Kelly, correct? New business. Just so everybody's aware, the board members, that we do have Mr. Swanson here. If there's any questions, he could maybe answer if you have any for him. Mr. Burke, go ahead.
I'll motion to pass this
Yeah,
as a resolution.
Yeah, I would like to motion to resolution approving a partial reimbursement to the Spring Hill Center and Commerce Industrial Property Owners Association for replacement of the permanent monument sign.
If I may, I'll renew my resolution to pass this, or my motion to pass it. Sorry.
Okay. Need
I'll
a
second.
Okay. All right.
Motion, Trustee Humpher, second, Trustee Rehberg. Motion carries. Motion approved. No. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Just give a brief overview of what we're doing.
Oh, certainly. So last September, the board approved an amendment to the redevelopment agreement with the Property Owners Association on Commerce Parkway to pay for a new monument sign with a electronic message center. Since that time, the Property Owners Association has been working towards that goal of getting the sign up and running again. Last month, the POA, they requested a partial reimbursement for work done to date. Staff did review their submittal, and staff is recommending that the partial reimbursement be made.
That's it? All right, thank you. A roll call vote, then we'll need Kelly, please.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
Trustee Rehberg,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
Trustee Humpher,
Yes.
Trustee Burroway.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. All right, trustee reports. We're moving on here to Trustee Humpher.
Okay. It was an interesting weekend with all the fireworks.
Yeah.
I guess I was a little stunned by the lack of calls in for noise. I would have thought there would have been a lot more. I don't know. I just was surprised. I thought we would have had a lot more people concerned about the amount of noise, but it is what it is, I guess. It looks like, were there any tickets issued at all?
For fireworks, yes. There were 3 issued last night. I checked last night. There were 3 issued last night, and I did speak. There were several people who had called or messaged us on Facebook about specific concerns. I did make 2 phone calls today to people who had those concerns, explained what the department had been doing, and also specifically to their area, because one person complained that they had called and on their street and they didn't see the police. I went to the log and I saw that we were there for 3 different calls, and one of the calls did involve a citation being issued. So the numbers were similar to last year in reference to fireworks complaints, but the actual noise complaints, yes, those were down.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah. Well, I suppose that's good. I don't know. People are either being more tolerant, or it seemed like it was a normal level as in previous years. I don't know. Maybe others thought there were fewer. The fireworks were being set off. I thought they were pretty bad.
Yeah, they were pretty bad by me.
I was a little
Fine on
surprised.
that, Chief?
I think that's $100, President Skillman.
It is. And I guess the last thing, last meeting, the police chief asked about areas of town that we need to start looking at traffic. That paid dividends right away by Trustee Lawrence and I suggesting Randall Rd. 100 miles an hour, we caught somebody?
That's crazy.
105.
Crazy.
How do you go that fast on Randall?
Coming in from McHenry County, so he was going south on Randall into the section as he enters our municipality. It's open enough there, but then we're able to stop him because there are 2-3 traffic lights he has to get to slow down for. So.
And I think that's the worst part is that southbound traffic in the morning. That seems to be the craziest. Well, we're trying to do what we can in our town, so make it safer. I appreciate you guys out there.
And we were out there at one point using our laser radar gun, so although I guess I don't see many radar detectors anymore, but the laser doesn't set that off. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Good to hear. Thank you. That's all I had. Appreciate it.
Okay, Trustee Lawrence, any comments?
I do. So I got to thinking today. I saw this wonderful post on Facebook, and it was regarding a police officer that had pulled over to help a woman change her flat tire. So while I was looking at that, there's so much negativity right now in the world, and there's so much complaining. That I thought it would be nice if we could, as Carpentersville, and these are just some marketing slogans I put together. It doesn't have to be that, but I thought of a Feel Good Friday, but instead of Feel Good Friday, Feel Good Carpentersville, or Random Acts of Kindness with Random Acts of Carpentersville, and just have residents continue to submit these stories, and then decide who in the village hall or public safety picks a story and puts it on Facebook, and it would be to acknowledge that police officer, the stranger that picked up the lost dog, the neighbor that put a meal train together for another neighbor that was sick, or just a business shout out. Something like that where we're noticing our residents for their random acts of Carpentersville.
That's great.
Yep, very nice. Officer Grant.
Grant, yes.
Grant, that's what we call him. Did a great job today. I saw that too. Thank you. Trustee Schultz.
Were you done, Dan? Oh, okay. Just wanted to mention tonight that for those of you that know, I attended the wake for Terry Wildey, and it was very sad, and we are certainly going to miss her. There's no doubt about it, and was just kind of a blow, and I my sympathies again to her family, and they seem to be holding up fairly well now. So, but just wanted to say that we certainly missed her. She was a bright spot in this village. There's no doubt about it. So, and that would conclude my report.
Thank you. Yes, for sure. I echo that. Trustee Rehberg.
Well said, Trustee Schultz. And then the only other thing I have is I'd like to second the public comment tonight. I actually received a almost identical, I guess you'd call it a complaint, from my family's pediatrician is along Randall Road, actually right next to Boss Automotive, and she tried putting some signage out too. Obviously nothing garish. She's a pediatrician, and multiple attempts were limited by the ordinance. This isn't a knock on staff at all. This is a knock on the ordinance that we have. It's becoming kind of apparent that it's a little too restrictive, and we're losing some opportunity for our businesses there, especially it seems along Randall Road, or our major corridors, at least beyond Randall Road. So I would really like to see staff pick that up and see if we could come up with some recommendations to improve that a little bit. That's my report.
Can I ask real quick? That has to go through PZC, though, right? Yes. So we need to change a mindset there about signage. So for sure.
Yeah, we need to discuss that. So
Yeah.
definitely. And we've been out there working it. I mean, I've spent plenty of hours. I've talked to Trustee Humpher about it several times, and the guys I know have been out there. So code enforcement's been there, and they've been dealing with them too on some issues out there. So
Yeah, well, it's, like I said, they're limited by the ordinances, and that's the real issue here. It's not staff.
no, right.
Is it okay for us to provide direction to PZC, Planning and Zoning Commission?
Mark and John are gonna kind of bring some ideas at a committee meeting to see if that.
Maybe we start here first and then
Then
push
go.
it from there. Yeah,
It's
because
always-
we're the ones hearing it. I know.
Yeah, yeah. And
We're
it's
getting the
beneficial to
complaints.
know what the other towns are doing too, so that we're not finding out that we're just kind of
Giving-
hamstringing our own selves here with our businesses, so.
Correct. That's true, because we know up along Randall Road, Patrick Burke reminded me that a lot of villages don't let a lot of crazy signage, so we got to be careful. That's a good point. So, thank you. Trustee Burroway, anything?
Thank you. I too was at the wake for Terry Wildey. Very sad occasion. She is sorely missed. She was always so pleasant to me and to everybody, and very helpful to anybody from the village come in. Always had a chance to talk to her, and she's dearly missed. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yes, just so everyone knows, tomorrow morning, visitation starts at 9:15 at Miller Funeral Home. The funeral is after at 10 o'clock at St. Monica's Church on Route 25. So if you didn't make it tonight, maybe you can make it tomorrow. So I'll be in attendance tomorrow. So. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to move on to a closed session. Need a motion to... First, I got to call it out. 2C2, Section 2C2, Section 2C5, Section 2C11, and Section 2C21 of the Open Meetings Act.
A motion to move the closed session.
I'll second.
Motion, Trustee Humpher, second, Trustee Schultz. Motion carries. A roll call, please.
Trustee Burroway,
Yes.
Trustee Humpfer,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
Trustee Rehberg,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz.
Yes.
Now motion carries. Motion approved. Thank you. After we come out of this session, we'll be discussing some other village business update on annexation and discussing some street closures that'll be coming up. So.